You know who it is. Let's get down to business. But first, welcome to my channel. Check out my social media for more nail content and the latest upgrade I did to my account because everything looks so cool. And for today's video, I will be doing a nail prep with a wooden cuticle stick that will be in my press-ons that I am very eager to get started on and have ready to go. With the flat end of your wood stick, you're going to ever so gently push back the cuticles. It is a fairly sticky part of your nail. You will feel when you're pushing down on it. And again, if you look at my thumb, I'm not pushing far at all, nor am I pushing too hard. It is not a painful process at all. However, with the opposite end of the stick here, you are going to gently sweep the area just to pick up that sticky cuticle and just remove it from underneath your nail. Again, very harmless. This should not hurt. The only time I can possibly see this part hurting someone is if you're pushing or pressing down way too hard and too far on your nail. But again, if you look at how I'm doing this for my remaining tiny canvases, I'm not pushing hard, nor am I pushing too far, and you see the removal of the cuticle. Not a lot. There are some bits that I can take out, and I do emphasize it in the video. But again, very harmless. Doesn't hurt at all. I do recommend, if you've never done it before, using the wooden cuticle sticks because the ends do become fairly blunt when you have used them and you can just toss them out. I do prefer my metal tools, and I show a very little piece of it in this video. However, with metal tools, if you don't have experience or you've never used them before, I do not recommend it until you've just done your own research and looked at more videos. When it comes to nails, I'm somewhat of a risk taker. I like my cuticle trimmers compared to the nipper. But again, I'll show that later in the video. Again, just disclaimer, if you've never used it before or if you're brand new and you're curious about it, just do your research, check it out, see how you like it before trying it on yourself. I have cut myself one too many times with my fingernail and the area becomes so sensitive. You just got to leave it alone for a few days before you apply any primer, especially primer, because it's just like adding sanitizer to a paper cut or alcohol on a cut. It stings and it's very sensitive, so I don't recommend it until you look into it. But I do show it a little bit in the video, and I show you how I use it for those that are watching that are experienced and know exactly what they use and what they like, and they prefer to just take a peek. Again, I'm not pro. I've just been really invested in this for the last 3 years, so I know what I like, and I sort of want to show both sides of a beginner and somewhat of an experienced nail enthusiast when it comes to these tools. So, back to the video. Again, very repetitive process. I like to use the flat end first, gently push back, flip the stick over, and take that sort of pointed end and scoop out the dead skin and cuticles. Again, I don't know how many times I already said it in less than 4 minutes. Very gentle, very harmless, only if you're using those metal tools, as I said before. If you subscribe to my YouTube or follow me on Instagram, there is a reel that I posted of the trimmer where I have cut my finger. So just trigger warning if you're not too keen on blood. It's very little, but it just shows the point that I'm trying to make. You know, if you're not careful, I've done it so many times to a point where I'm just like, okay, we're gonna tap out for a minute. So now I'm just sort of going in, just sort of taking out the itty bitty stuff just to make sure that my nails are prepped to my liking. Again, this video, I want to make sure it is at least up and ready for those that will be interested in my soon-to-be press-on packages that I am trying ever so hard to get ready. I just find with written instruction versus a hangnail, written instruction versus a video, it can vary between, who's watching it. I'm more of a visual, so I find the video will be a lot more helpful versus something that is written for me. Personal preference, I will have both up. Each kit will have written instructions on how to push back your cuticles, and then there will be direction to this video as well if you want something more visual. Now with the hangnail that you just saw, I will be using my trimmer to remove it. Again, there's no blood. It's a very clean way of just how I get rid of just like the little extra stuff, the little nitty gritty cuticle part of my nail. And with a prep, I find if you want the best retention, again, check out my Instagram, Perfect Nails X Raven. I have a little highlight with nail growth. I got some between 2 and 5 weeks. I change my nails quite frequently, so I normally don't go past 2 weeks just because of the content I am trying to push out. But it is there. You can scroll through all less than 200 posts, and some of them do have like a growth caption to them, and you can see sometimes I've chipped, it happens to everyone, but it happens. So this is a part that I was talking about. Again, I do not recommend if you have not used these tools before. There's your cuticle trimmer and your nipper. I'm showing the trimmer, and what I do here, I sort of go in an opposite direction of the hangnail. I don't ever want to go downward because I feel like you're removing more than you're supposed to. And again, the air becomes very, very sensitive. So what I do with the trimmer here, again, opposite direction, and I just trim it off. And then what I do, I don't ever cut that piece of skin. I just very gently push back and just get to whatever little cuticle or dead skin is underneath that part. And I just trim it off. Kind of go back in with my wooden stick, scoop out whatever it is that I've missed, and there you have it. Again, if you have not used those tools before, research it, check it out, see what you like. When I first saw the trimmer, I thought it was really cool. Again, as a first timer, I don't know how many times I have nipped myself, and I'm the type that would just sort of keep trying until I get it right. So you can imagine how many band-aids I have had on my fingers over at least the first 6 months of me trying to figure out how much pressure you're supposed to put. I find it's a decent amount of pressure, but not enough where you're pushing back far to cut yourself, if that makes sense. Ooh, I love this part. I love working my cuticles. I don't know what it is. It just makes me so happy, and they look so good. I'm going to sound like a complete hypocrite right now. If you're beginning, or if you have press-ons and you've never worn them before and you've never prepped your nail, I do not recommend nitpicking. Don't push yourself if you're not comfortable. And I say that with caution because I don't want you hurting yourself. Again, excluding the cuticle trimmer, this is a completely harmless process. It doesn't hurt. Nothing should happen to you if you're using the right pressure and just being a little more cautious using tools that you've never really had experience with. But again, this is the video that I want to have up for my press-ons that I am trying ever so hard to work on. I just have other commitments that I do focus on first before I get to my nails. So I do apologize for those that have messaged me and were curious about the content on my YouTube. I do try to post reels or shorts just so you sort of know what's going on and what's coming up. But now that I finally have this video out and this voiceover, I am so excited for you guys to see this. Again, I'm just going over last little bits before I show you the final product. And you can still see I'm still digging out some cuticle. I do stop at a point because, again, you can only prep so much before you prep too much. So I am so happy that I have my little fan base and my subscribers and my followers and my likes. Thank you again so much for those that are always watching my stuff and leaving a comment and dropping some love. I appreciate it, and I see you And for those that are ever so eager waiting for those press-ons, I am trying my hardest, but we're almost there, and I'm trying to work as hard as I can every single day to make sure this content's pushed out and I got some display up. I'm taking a break from doing my own nails just because of the commitments that I have, but I will be doing my press-ons, which I think would be absolutely perfect, so you can see what options you have, sizes, all that juicy stuff that will be coming out. But we have reached the end of the video, and here is my prepped hand, cuticles and all. So beautiful. I love it. This is probably, again, my favorite thing to do before doing any polishes or colors is prepping the nails. You want good retention? You prep. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. But until then, I will see you next time.